All right, hey, what's up, PTX fam? This is Shiblord here, joined by many of the crew. We have Layberg, we have Bran, we have Clown, and we have Walks all up on stage here to join us for this AMA today. Down in the audience, we have quite a few people there. We also have Detonator. Shout out to him for doing what he does, especially on the Telegram side. Definitely appreciate the work there. On this January 17th of 2023. So it's another week here, still trying to kind of build things up, get things going. I know that there has been a lot working behind the scenes between Bran, Clown, as well as Layberg with some gamification stuff that they're looking to work on. So maybe we'll go into that here a little bit today. We did pay out the X shares reward yesterday, so that's all taken care of. Just an update on kind of those investment funds there. There is a little bit of a lock going on the Bybit side that we do expect to be resolved shortly. But just as of this second, trading has been halted. That funds that I put into the system for the X shares yesterday was due to some surplus that we had available. It didn't come from the treasury. It was from funds that I've been trying to accumulate just on my own to make up for that. So no real stresses there, but we are going to get that taken care of as soon as possible and keep them flowing accordingly. So beyond that, this is another pretty exciting day for the AMA to go into any questions that you guys might have. Of course, please feel free to ask away in the AMA questions channel or request to speak live here and we'll bring you up on stage. We're going to go into different things involving kind of the future, right? So we've gone a little bit into some of the 2023 plans via announcements. We haven't had a whole lot of detail in the AMAs just yet about how that's going to traject into the future with ProtocolX. As we've kind of seen, markets may have been rebounding a little bit. I can go into maybe some of those interesting factoids towards the end, but until then, how's everybody doing up here?
Not bad, thank you very much, Shib. Hope you're getting better. Hope you've been well. I'm sure the community, the team, we're glad to have you back in the AMA. It's lovely to see you back. We hope you get better soon. Tim, Layborg, how have you guys been? I know you guys have been absolutely smashing it in the background. I can't believe I don't even know how many meetings these guys have had. I lose count every time I check the staff chat. They're in a meeting. But Tim, how's things going on your end, my man?
Yeah, going great this side. Like you say, lots of meetings, and me realising that we're still in a meeting at like 11 o'clock on a night, and I actually need to go and see my wife at some point. But yeah, loads of good ideas for the gamification side. I think really it might be a good time to drop maybe a teaser or something in the AMA questions, just what
You
we've
know
been
what? We've
working on.
got 11 people here. These guys, the loyal ones here on a Tuesday, deserve to see it. But before you drop that, Tim, let's have a little chat about what's been going on. So over the last couple of weeks, Shib, Neil, he's been out, as he said, with a little bit of a flu, spending time with some family, which is what everyone needs to do sometimes. We all have it. It's all needed to get away. Just to recap, the worst news of it all, and we're always about being transparent, honest, is that there is a temporary pause on trading. That is on X shares, and that is on investment funds. Nothing too crazy going on. It's just the funds are locked, and we're waiting for them to be unlocked. And we've spoke to multiple people, multiple representatives, and then 99.9% sure that they'll be resolved soon. But as you know, there's always a tiny risk with all these situations. That's why we're just open and honest, and instead of hiding the fact, we're there and honest with you guys and letting you guys know. But once we have an update, keep you guys posted on that. But nothing too crazy. And it's actually helped. And let me explain why it's helped. So you guys know I love a bramble. So that's absolute perfect time. Over the last couple of weeks, after the Christmas break, we sat down as a team and said, look, we need to look at the project as if the investment funds are doing whatever they're doing and we are now in a place where we need to build. So ignore the fact we've got money or we have to make money or this, that, the other. Let's bring some products. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking nonstop. A massive shout out to Clown and Layborg. I'd be saying they've been doing a lot of the heavy lifting on this. Clown has been working on some prototypes. But you know what, Tim? I want to pass it over to you to introduce what may not be X realms.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a development title at the moment, just because it fit in with the rest of the ecosystem. So X Realms, we've spoken about the gamification before, and just adding something that can work with the rest of the ecosystem. So yeah, other people have got gaming aspects with their tokens and protocols, but they all seem to be a sort of off-the-shelf offering, where they've just been created by someone else and they've just sort of dropped it into the ecosystem. Now, this is something where we will be developing it from scratch, so we can kind of build it how we want it. So yeah, I'm going to drop. What I will drop is just a bit of a teaser image here, and you can see.
We're going to say prototype, subject to change, things we're working on, but it'll give you an idea of sort of what we're doing. Because Tim, you get a little bit carried away. It is a prototype. I just want to make sure.
Oh yeah,
everyone-
this is no way a professional artist. This is like my mock-up of the idea of the X Realms.
And that's it exactly. So you can see it there. Now, this is exactly what we're sort of looking in the background, right? There's a lot of times where we've looked at the protocol and gone, right, we can make a dex. How many dexes are there? We can make a game. How many games are there? But what we've actually been focusing on is if we are going to make a game or a platform which involves gamification, and why we need to make this different. And yes, that is a mock-up. That is only a mock-up. We also said many weeks ago, we're talking just after Christmas when we were having our meetings, that if this is something we're going to do, we're going to do it properly. There's been a lot of external companies that build games. Their UI is very basic. The capability is very standard. The graphics are very friendly but could be upscaled. Now, we put a lot of time and effort into building an ideology behind it, and we've actually worked out that majority, and this is one thing we said, right? We said it in the last AMA, everything's a process. Bringing Layborg in, we've got some of the tools needed to actually build this platform without having to have crazy expenditure. Now, don't get me wrong, games like this, they require professional graphics artists, they require storyline tellers, they require X, Y, and Z. You need a professional person to guide you at least. And that's the plan. So the last couple of weeks, we've been thinking of the foundations, getting the blueprints ready. Everything's lining up in different phases. We're now on progress to sort of not build out phase one, but definitely get the foundations laid for phase one, and understanding what's going on. Now, as you guys know, we've been here for a very long time. We're not people to, and mind my language, but I'm very brutally honest, to sugarcoat shit or exaggerate what we're doing. We've never been one. We started the AMA with funds are locked and we're moving into the realistic terms. We're not sitting here saying this is going to be a AAA standard game. We're not sitting here saying this is going to be the best game on the market. But one thing this game will do is 100% entwine the current ecosystem, whether you're a PTX holder, whether you're an X shares holder. Now, over the last couple of weeks, a lot of people have been asking, oh, when are X keys coming? How we'll be able to upgrade X shares. We thought there was a process on that. The reason why we've been very skeptical in answering questions regarding X shares is because we're currently working ways to delve into a different realm regarding X shares. So they will forever be that standard X share with the revenue generation, but more of a biome/land capability. Now, the reason why we use the doors/a theme/the overall thing is because this was an idea before. This is an idea we had before. We did speak about obviously integrating. If you was in AMA about 4, 5, 6 months ago, about doing it in Minecraft, but we've actually had a lot better idea in regards to what we're going to do. So I'm going to pass it down to Tim. Tim, don't drop the write up. Some time just explaining it. It's good for people to get a visualization so they know we're not just saying here's an image, this is what we're doing. There is a full-fledged plan behind this. Now, Ronan, I'm going to stop you there about the cost. With regards to this project, we're able to entwine multiple parts of the current ecosystem. So you as a regular holder, PUSD, X shares holder, we're able to entwine while also giving it its own standing as a project. Now, we're not saying it's going to be a separate project at all. We're then able to get this idea, have the blueprints, have the mock-ups, and reach out to investors. able to go out to investors or partners or whatever else. We're able to do that, and you could tell by the team there's a lot of confidence oozing. Usually we don't come into AMAs, and I'm going to be completely honest with here, with this much confidence oozing. But what we've spent a lot of time since Christmas, we have been very quiet. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the lock of funds was, it hit us. It's very demotivating, especially for some members of the team. But we're coming out of the stick of it, and we're thinking of a plan. And the plan is in motion. It's not just we might do this, we might do that. It's something we're actively working on. Tim, I'm done brambling. Take it away.
That's the thing, you can bramble. I don't bramble like this. I'm very matter of fact, and I will literally just tell you exactly what the game is, or literally paste it in text. But I'll give you a brief overview of what we've got so far, because I would kind of like this to be a beta that we work on, and just have people who are already involved with the protocol to sort of have a say in, the kind of changes that we make, what they'd like to see. Because I know we have got quite a few gamers here already, and people who like, playing games and what have you. So the thought we had for the X Realms was it's kind of a Web3 based trading card and questing game. So in a way, you've got X shares, which have always been called passageways. So if they can be used to send your character NFTs on quests, almost, that's what we've got. So for the beta, we thought that the current holders of X shares could receive packs of cards, so like the trading card aspect, and you get almost like a random loot box of cards and items for the game. So then when you've got a champion, which would be your player character that you can collect, you can then send them out on daily quests with a, like a percentage chance of bringing back rewards from those quests. So yeah, there's going to be quite a few elements to it though, not just questing. So
Cool.
hopefully in the future we do sort of PvP auction house.
He's
and
talking about
raids.
phase 2 already. Stop him. He's already on phase 2. He's already on phase 2. Now, he touched base on auction house there. And that's exactly one of the main bring value, right? It's very, very important. Now, we've already got the foundations where we've got different platforms with the X shares. Currently, there's only people with either Wanderers or Commons, right? Now, there's a lot of ways that you can integrate platforms into a game, whether it be different islands for different quests, whether it be different areas for different locations, whether it be for legendaries to have higher tier bosses. There's a lot of things you can do with the basis we have, and we've forever, from the start, anyone can back me up here, I know even if you don't like us, we have always built things to be expandable. We've always built the ecosystem so it can change at any given notice. Now, we've been looking, right? And I'm not here to name drop tokens or say we can do better than other them. But there's some platforms where we've looked at as a team and, Layborg as a developer and, our graphic designers and whatever, and gone, hold on a minute, these guys have 1.1 million holders. They've got 1.1 million holders. We can actually expand on that. We can actually build on that. Now, I know people touch base on cost. There's a plan in place. We're still working on fine tuning it. Obviously, we're not going to pursue something if we don't think it's feasible. We're not stupid. We're not going to waste our time. At the end of the day, that's a lot of man hours for no reason. If we didn't have a plan of ways of being able to afford this, even at worst case scenario, we had very little funding, and we wouldn't. We wouldn't waste our time. We wouldn't waste your time. We're starting off the new year very positive, looking to build out and looking to expand PTX. And sometimes building a bigger platform to support a lower platform is the way forward. And you have to be honest about that. We've got a very good ecosystem, very good tokenomics, very good foundations, but now we need to expand. We need to grow and we need to bring the holders with us. Now, Tim, also known as OX Clown, has put the information in AMA questions. Now, this is obviously phase 1. We're not going to introduce way too much at once. Maybe when we drop teasers, it will involve other aspects of the game, but we are obviously building out a longevity plan for us to be able to scale it and obviously for it to last a long time. Now, we're not saying this is going to be something that comes out in the next couple of days. That'd be, lies. We're not saying it's something that's going to come out in the next couple of weeks. But what we are saying is something we're actively starting to develop. Now, a lot of times, we have to be realistic and go, look, we're at a stumped place anyway, where we are. Holders haven't grown in a while. XShares has grown, and maybe this information might even make it grow a little bit more. I have a feeling, but we also have to look at going, okay, we can't just dwell on that. Now we need to expand, and this is exactly what we're doing. As Town said, and I've pivoted a little bit. These loot boxes will contain a variety of things that you can collect. You don't have to specifically purchase loot boxes. We're not going to be one of them pay to win games. Obviously, there will be pay to win aspects. So then the treasury and the business can build up, expand, market. But there will also be ways of just holders in general being able to earn. And as Tim said, yeah, basically earn. Now, we're very excited for this. If you haven't seen it already, if you scroll up a little bit, and this is our first bit of concept art. We've obviously been working with people looking to get expansion, looking to get some more assets made. But we didn't want to drop this to go, hey guys, this is what we're doing, and sugarcoat it. We wanted to show you guys this is something in progress. This isn't just an idea. This is something we're going. And Ronan, I'll answer your question there that you've asked late, Shib, because you know what, I've done a lot of thinking externally about if the product doesn't exist, how does anyone know if they like or dislike anything if they don't even see it? Now that's not specifically true. We're not going to go up to investors with no product. 9 times out of 10, when a startup company is there, either raising funding or raising capital, the same way when people bought the pre-sale of ProtocolX, it is an idea. Now, we're not even just going to go in with an idea. We're going to go in with prototypes. We're going to go in with plans. We're going to go in with everything. So we're not going to just go in and try raise funding this way, that way. And I understand you're saying people don't know the product exists. That's what we're doing. People will know this product exists. We've already been speaking. I know Clown's been speaking to some marketing firms about if when we do have this rollout, it may make sense to some people now that we've spoke about it. People can't. There has to be, and we've been discussing this. There has to be a reason for people to come. There's many protocols that have amazing tokenomics. We think this is what's going to separate brilliant tokenomics and a brilliant pathway. We could sit here and say we're going to make a DEX. We could sit here and say we're going to make a blockchain. Realistically, unless we have millions of pounds VC funding, millions and millions of dollars in backing and crazy partnerships, they will never be successful. They will never top it. You have to have the foundations for that. Whereas with a game, you need a good idea, a good plan, and a good strategy. And that's exactly what we're building out now. But I've done a lot of brambling. Guys, anyone on the team, please feel free to take it away. Layborg, I know you've been helping a lot with the game. I just want to know your thoughts on what's going on and what's happening.
Yeah. A lot of long nights talking with Clown about game ideas and prototypes and so on.
Yeah, because we're quite big gamers as well, aren't we? So we've obviously been playing games for years and seen these types of mechanics used in games and sort of know what creates a good gameplay loop that makes people want to come back. And like you do daily things on like a phone game that you've got that sort of brings people back and engages with the ecosystem. I do a daily quest and I come back the next day, and if I do it for a week, I'll get X bonus. Things like that. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I think a lot of people have been asking about marketing, and I think to combine with the marketing, you actually need a really good product to market. And although we've got the token, the X shares, PUSD, I think if we had something unique like this type of game, then it's something that we can actually market as a product to make people want to get into the ecosystem, to see it being built, to have some sort of input on what happens with it over the the course of the next few months. I think it's going to be really good.
It's not just that; it's that it will force people into the ecosystem. With the way we're looking to plan things out, discounts and ways for holders to earn more, it will get people who are actually interested in the game and interested in the plan to not quote unquote force themselves. But for example, if these loot boxes, if there's been, or like, let's put a hypothetical here, and this is some of the ideas we're toying with. If you've gone on a quest and you've got a very low chance, highly rare drop table item, you've pulled out a nice epic pack or an epic loot box, we'll say, for people to understand a bit easier. This can contain PTX, this can contain PUSD, this can contain high value items which could be used on the market. There's a lot of things you can do. Once you've got a user base, it's very easy to expand certain aspects once they've got major use within a certain environment. Now, with game and with, we're going to call it a platform for now, because it's a lot easy to say a game and get people thinking we're going to make the next AAA, plus game. That's not the case. It will be very good. We're going to make sure that we're not sitting there and going, here's the bare minimum, here's what others are doing, let's match that and, hope for the best. Daily, we're looking at other projects with similar ideas, a little bit worse ideas than us, and going, we need to make sure we're better than this. There's a lot of things we can do. And yes, that's exactly what Tim just said. Obviously, once this comes live, and Tim already touched base on phase 2, so we'll give a little bit of alpha there. What we'd be looking to do is, if we had game AMAs, which are very popular, a lot of people attend game AMAs, especially in Discord. In phase 2, one of the ideas that we have that we'd like to roll out is a world event where you'd send your champion or character for ease of use to a world event, which will be able to be played by a bunch of players. You won't have to do much, just send and enter. So the way we can look at it is like a gamified lottery system, right? Now this is phase 2. And that world event can then be streamed in our Discord AMAs for marketing purposes. People will stick around to the end just to watch that world event. There's many ideas, many things we can do, and I just wanted to stress there is a lot of thought, a lot of planning, and a lot of ideas going into this. Now, we're not saying it's going to be a short-term thing. We're not saying we're going to be able to have this done by next week, but we are actively working on it, and the more information we can get to you guys, the more updates, the more we will.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's going to lead us to be more engaged with the community as well as we develop it, and we can get people to test it and give feedback. And I know we went through lots of changes, and that could have been considered a negative because we had to change the system. So we were engaging with people were talking with us, we were making changes. So if we can turn that around and do this in a positive way, so we're actually developing something really cool like a game. So I think everyone can have some input on that as well, and consider yourselves beta testers or something like that, alpha testers.
Yeah, Ronan got a question here. What's the timelines looking like? Goals in many months, phase 1 length, phase 2 length. Now, we're not going to give solid timelines now. We need to speak to a lot of people and make sure that it's meticulously planned before we start giving out timelines. Now, we're not, the next AMA or a couple of AMAs, I'm sure there'll be more as to timelines. Right now, we're not going to give a firm timeline. Flexible G, no point in doing what's failed for others before. Exactly. I get what you mean there, and that's where we're meticulously looking at what's failed and what hasn't failed. Now, there's many ways that project have failed by promising the next. I will use a recent example. Paradox Crypto. I don't know who's heard of it, how many people heard of it. This had ISO Speed, the Pauls, everyone, UK rappers, everyone promoting this game. And the reason why it failed is because they sat there and said, we're going to be the next GTA. We're going to be the next Watch Dogs. We're going to be this, but in crypto. People looked there and gone, can't be asked. If I want to play GTA, I'll go play GTA. If I want to do this, I'll go do this. Trying to be the next best thing in $1 billion market is not what we're looking for. Trying to be a good product within the DeFi market is what we are looking for. There are many, many, many crypto games that are out right now that are very, very rubbish. And I'm not naming any in particular. I won't even say that the mechanics are rubbish. I just say there's a lot of poor craftsmanship or dedication when it comes to UI. Um, One thing I've noticed a lot in DeFi is the low standard for that.
Yeah,
And that's
it's always
something
these play to earn games as well, and they're always really bad quality, aren't they?
100%.
It
And
always
that's
seems
what,
like it's off the shelf, just been made really cheaply, and people who don't actually enjoy games have put it out as a way to make money. Whereas I think, because we actually enjoy gaming and we enjoy the concept of like a gameplay loop and making something enjoyable and interactive, I think we can make something really good and something unique.
but you've just hit the nail on the head there, Tim. It's a gameplay loop. That's exactly what it is. Something that keeps people engaging, coming back for your daily loot boxes or packs or whatever. Something to bring you back to that app. Something for you to go to the community and say, yes, I've got this. And that's what we're proposing. That's what we're doing. We're not sitting here saying we're going to make the next Fables game. We're not going to make the next Skyrim. We're going to make something where Flexible G, who, this is an example, has all the time in the world, can play and expand on. People such as Strange Nose, who's got to get the kids, he's busy looking after the kids today. He can still log in and collect his loot boxes. And, things like that. For example, if, Strange is busy today, he's come in, he's gone, you know what, I need to do my game thing today. It takes a couple of minutes. His plan was then to just go back straight to his kids. But when he's engaging, he's got that thing he's been waiting for. It's finally happened. He's got that item that he's been waiting for. He's gonna go discuss with the community. I've got that upgraded. I'm now this level. People chase. People like the progression. People like upgrades, and having a marketplace and, as you know, sort of a tavern style where you can trade items. More confirmation on that soon. Probably a phase 2 base. We're looking to hopefully put that in phase 1 if it's feasible. But it's all about progression, right? All about growth and all about being able to have something to show for it. And one thing we're really focusing on is value. Every aspect has to have value. It's no point in us going, yeah, we're going to make this crazy game because you guys are going to get a new sword for your character that has 0 value. We're going to make sure and try our best to provide value in all aspects. If you're going on your quest and you get a rare reward, then that's something that benefits you. If you're doing your missions, or you've got a high level, or you've got a legendary, or you've worked your way up to an epic, which would probably be a new X-share tier. If when the game does come about, then you will be rewarded, and that's the plan. Even if you can only have a common, some people might not even have a common. Some people might not have an X-share. They might not be able to have land. I put emphasis on the land there because that's one reason why we didn't just make a key card before, because this was always an idea, and now we're bringing it to life. But I'll stop rambling and pass it to someone else.
Yeah, so I'll just touch base here really quick. There was, several things brought up there. Obviously, we don't want to, like you mentioned, Brand, you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, of course. But one thing I will say has been a differentiating factor in the gaming industry is community aspect, right? So many of the games that have succeeded in the past, they do succeed or fail because that thereof or lack thereof community engagement within that. There's a lot of people that play games just to be able to associate with whomever at any point. So that's something else that we could try to integrate into it. So it's a pretty fluid community engagement and also personally beneficial system for those to use. I think that's something that'll interest those who expand away from the gaming side, because even myself, I'm not a huge gamer, but occasionally I'll jump on Call of Duty to play with my homies from wherever, right? Because I could play with them and they could be in another country for all I know. So things like that, can I help bring people together, allow it to tie together a bit, but still have that DeFi aspect, still have all the crypto aspect that we currently have here, and allows us to kind of build and expand, hopefully to a little bit of a more broad audience, and one that'll be a little bit tighter knit, because that's always a good thing as well when the Discords are very friendly with each other within them.
Oh, that's a really good so far AMA, guys. Please ask your questions in the AMA questions. We came into the AMA today talking as a team, a bit disheartened over the last couple of weeks. Obviously about the lock, not last couple of weeks, but you know what I mean, about the lock of funds. But then this brilliant idea came about. It was something that was being discussed, but it's just been the hot topic, the hot topic. And exactly, look, Martin, This is exactly why we brought it up so early. So people like yourself, other community members, people who even might have experience in this sort of field, can latch onto it and assist the team. So yeah, Martin says, I've got an idea. Can we give everyone a clean character, and then in the game loop we can build our character with the loot box winnings? This character then becomes valuable as we add items. This is exactly what sort of is in the structure, Martin. Not only are we looking for the loot boxes or packs, to have that sort of make people want to buy them, make people want to earn them, but also building up that report of you as a person. So but that's exactly what we're looking. That's exactly what we're looking. And it's very, very positive things going on. Very, very positive things.
Yeah, we have spoken about the idea of having, like an initial character that you can build up. But then there's also the option of, getting additional characters as rewards, with different rarities and different levels and what have you. I don't want to give too much alpha away, and I'm really good at giving alpha away.
You know what? There's a very lucky 14 people in here. Sometimes, we have these AMAs, but I feel like this is one of the most bullish AMAs we've had in a while. Guys, we're not going to give any more alpha. If you've got any more questions, you want to know anything more about what we're working on, what's happening, you let us know. Keep up the positivity. We appreciate you guys. I know there's some people in the community that are a bit disheartened. We get it. We understand it. We're traders ourselves, we're investors ourselves. We're here to grow, we're here to expand, and we're here to do our best with what we can. It's been a rough market, it's been a rough year, but we're still alive, we're still kicking, we're still doing our best, we're still putting the effort where we can. There's been many a times in this protocol we could have folded, and we haven't. So just on my behalf, I just want to thank a lot of you, especially the people that are in here today. And we're looking forward to growing and expanding. But from me, I think that'd be it, unless we get any more questions.
Yeah, so I'll kind of, fill a little bit of air here, just in case anybody's curious. A couple things I kind of want to end this with is, one, where is the market going to go? And two, what can I do to mitigate some of these risks that have happened this past year? So I'll use an example from today. There was a project out there, Protocol, that has generated $2.1 million in their contracts by promising just simply 2% per day, 7 days a week, 30-day lock. Have we heard this game before? Do we know where this might be trending towards? So if you guys don't know, that project obviously rugged, right? After they've already promoted influencers, had an 8% referral fee, and then also said, we're going to give you guys a 30% coupon to get 30% extra rewards if you deposit more now. Learn to identify the red flags in DeFi. That'll help you kind of mitigate some of the issues that many people run into. Because unfortunately, people say, well, okay, 2% a day, we'll just keep riding it. Now, whatever money they put in is gone. It's not going to come back. It's dead. Team not doxed. Team not KYC'd. Refuse to, can't answer questions. So avoid things like that. Any fixed percent per day of real money, so for example, BUSD, dollar for dollar amount, is inherently unsustainable. Why is that? Because if they were averaging 2% per day for 10 days, for 100 days, eventually they're going to take that 5% loss. Well, shoot, now I got to make up that 5% to get back up to that 2% per day so I can pay out everybody. The risk starts going up on the trades. Well, now they're down 25%. Well, now there's no way out. There's no way to pay out the funds. So even if all ethics were good in it, which in this case, I don't believe they were, but if they were, any fixed dollar return per day in a percentage base like that is not going to work out for you, at least in the mid to long term. So keep those things in mind. Now, the other question is, where is the market going? We've seen a pretty crazy switch here in the crypto markets in the last little bit of time, right? Week or two. So right now, let's see if I can get Bitcoin's over 21,000. Ethereum hit over 16,000 earlier today. That's great, right? Are we returning to a bull? Possibly, but we're not too sure just yet, right? So towards the end of this month, I believe February 1st, there's another Federal Reserve meeting, and the old Jerome Powell will have another discussion. And if I foresee what he's going to say, and that's we still have a long way to go, that the labor market's still overinflated, yada, 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 we could see a very quick retrace back to not anywhere near as low as we've been in the last year, but it could put a little damper on the parade. So keep that in mind here. Try to keep your spirits up. There's going to be more highs, more lows. Likely towards the end of 2023, quarter four 2023 is when the global markets will start being able to actually recover, maybe even after an official recession here going into quarter two to quarter three of this year. So those are kind of the little check boxes that we got to look out for. Ride the waves. Try to keep positive because there's a lot that's going to go on between now and a year from now. And we will keep building on our end here. Obviously, as we kind of just talked about today, Brandon, Tim, and Layberg went into a ton of detail on gamification. So there's a lot here to build towards. But yeah, just keep safe, family first, keep your primary life as the most important thing in your life, and then engage with crypto and go from there if you so choose to, and try to make some money, of course. That's my little tidbit at the end, as I was trying to filibuster to see if we had any more questions. But yeah, if you guys have any questions here towards the end of this, it's been about 40 minutes, so a good AMA thus far today. So if you guys have any questions in reference to anything at all, feel free to hit us up. And if not, we will bring this AMA to a close in just a little bit. But of course, we're always available in the chats. Either way, we give you guys ample access to the team. So that's cool too. Anybody got
Excellent
any closing
advice,
words?
Jim. We've really missed you. No one can filibuster like that in these AMAs. And I know Bran can bramble, but yeah, we have really missed you here.
I literally can't breathe out of my nose, so hopefully I don't sound like that, little TikTok meme voice at this point, because I feel like I do, but we're battling through that as well.
The longer you go. When you first joined the call, I thought, yeah, you can tell he's had a cold or the flu, but you actually sound okay now.
Good. It's all about public speaking. So with all that said, hey, we sincerely appreciate you guys for sticking with us here. We have a lot that we need to work on with ourselves. We're very aware of that. We definitely appreciate you guys every step of the way. Thank you again for joining us on this community AMA and this beautiful January 17th, 2023, or January 18th, 2023, if you are in the Australia and New Zealand region. Shout out to you guys as well. And as always, we're always available in the chat, so hit us up. We'll keep you guys posted. And until then, peace out, fam.